everyone, I'm Jen and today I'm going to be painting a moonlit oceanscape. So first up, I roughly sketched out the scene with a coloured pencil. Thinking about where the horizon line is, sometimes I quite like it being a bit up from the middle or a bit below from the middle. In the past I've used a normal pencil and the grey of the pencil kind of got smudged in with the paint, so I found just using a coloured pencil works a bit better. I normally use a palette knife, got my paints, brushes, and then this palette is tear off palette, so you can just tear this piece off and bung it in the bin after, which is pretty handy. This blue colour, the ultramarine, I go through that a lot. And then I love this green as well. So they're the two main colours I use for seascapes. I'll just actually note down all the colours I use in case you want to use the same ones. So when mixing colours, if you are mixing a blue and it's a bit too bright and you want to make it a bit more like our Scottish weather here, a bit more dull it down. What I love about our colours here is they're quite, you can get such soft dull colours and then a really bright green seaweed or turquoise sea, so it's quite nice to have the other colours more dull. So if you have a bright blue, say, and you want to dull that down, the trick is to use the complementary colour, which is the one opposite it on the colour wheel. So if you're using a green or a blue, it would be to add a bit of red, which just makes it a wee bit more grey or slightly purpley grey, which works quite well for seascapes like this. Here's the main colours I've got mixed for this painting, and I'll add them as I go. Here I'm using a palette knife to put down the first layer of colour. It's just a bit quicker for getting paint on the paper, which is a trick I learned from Emily Mackay. She's got some really good tutorials on YouTube worth checking out. I'll put her link below. So I'm just going to start adding the same sort of bluey, slightly purpley colour, but a slightly lighter tone, just to begin that gradient. Just oil paint is just so, the texture of it's so good. Okay, so I'm kind of just feeling my way through these colours. I am adding a bit of green. I always find there's a lot more green in the sky than I first think. It's not just blue. It's a bit sort of greeny grey. So okay, now we're approaching. I'm gonna leave a bit of a space around the moon because that's what Emily did, and I'll see in a bit. Now I'm gonna, the colour green, as it gets closer to the horizon it gets a bit more pink, but very subtly, so I'm gonna keep the sort of main bluish, greyish, purplish colour, but just start thinking about how it's going to get a bit more lighter and a bit more pinkish. As we get closer to this horizon, just leaving a little space around the moon. Yeah, I'll just carry on that kind of colour. It's going to be a lot of paint to blend. Could be nice. Blending is one of the most fun bits about oil painting. You're going to love it. So So I think it's a bit less. I'm feeling quite like it's quite blue. I think it needs to be a bit more greeny grey. So I'm adding a bit more green and black to this white. Okay, that's a bit better. I'll add that in. Just filling in all the white bits. I think this gradient needs to be a bit more. Well, the other thing that I'm intending to do once I get next at the art shop is I need some acrylic paints, because they're quite good because they're a bit cheaper, and you just need to be quite handy for just bunging down a first layer to cover the paper, so you've got something to work off, and it gives you sort of base colour as well. I just don't have any, otherwise I would have done that. Just mixing the colour basically on the paper, making up the rose. I don't know if you're really meant to do that, but it doesn't really matter. I need a bit of a darker colour up here. To be a bit more darker. It's better. Still a bit more blue. A bit more green. Just constantly tweaking things and following your intuition. Sometimes green and red is what you need to, because the opposite colours on the colour wheel sort of cancel each other out to make a less saturated colour. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's the way it goes. Okay, I'm gonna just bring my blending brush in. Now this one is a makeup brush, and I've already used it a bit and not properly, don't know if you can see that. I haven't properly cleaned it, so it's got oil paint dried on it, so the bristles are, especially some of them are stuck together. But I used this yesterday and I actually liked the texture it created, because it's quite hard bristles, extra hard and thick, so it kind of made a streaky thing, which I really liked. So let's see what happens if it works again. I hope this is in focus. See that this effect is quite scratchy, I guess is the word. Like a scratchy. I think it just gives a sense of the movement. That doesn't sound too, you know. Okay, get my hand out the way, you can see. I think that's okay, but I would like a bit more gradient, like a bit more darker in the corners, like a vignette. When you're editing a photo on your phone, you add a vignette. So let's see if this is a darker color. I've just got loads of colors on my palette knife, so it's actually adding them all. Don't want the light one, I want the dark one. Oh, this is fun. I've never actually tried talking at the same time as painting, so this is quite weird, but I'm quite enjoying it. But also, I'm basically just talking to myself right now. But we'll see if this makes a video, or if the camera's even picking up what I'm saying. Oh, I should probably get a mic. That would be better. Very soft spoken. Okay, it's a bit better there. Now if we use this blending brush again, it should give us some more texture. I think we need more green. More green. Okay, I'm on a time limit for this painting because I'm going to go to the cinema because it's Halloween and see Hugh Grant's latest scary film. Let's see. This is working. Okay, in with the blender brush, I always end up with about 10 brushes in my hand. Okay. Just, you can sort of mess around with the direction of it. I'm going for kind of aiming at the moon. Ooh, kind of gives us zooming in effect. Might change that, but let's go with that for now. Okay, so around this moon, we are gonna light in. I'm just gonna make a little bit more purpley, but add a bit more pink. The medium I use for oil paint is, whoa, that's dark. I used to use liquid because it's fast drying and it's still quite good, but it's pretty stinking. It's not bad, but it's quite strong. But my friend put me onto this nice clear medium called Zest It, and it's meant to be safer solution, or it's non-toxic and it smells okay. So that's what I'm using. Took me a minute to get used to not putting my brush into water and putting it into a medium. Okay, I'm gonna blend this out a little bit now with my blending brush. So this one's a lot softer, so you won't get the same texture, but I'm just gonna try and blend it into the texture that's around it a little bit. It needs to be a bit warmer, so we want some yellow. What's nice is when the moon isn't, it's not just pure white, it's got a sort of warm glow to it sometimes, which is quite cool. Okay, what time is it? I'm probably late already. No, it's 6 o'clock. Okay, let's start speeding up because I need to have a shower. So start putting some of these brushes down, palette knife down. So slightly warm around the moon, and then we'll move on to the rest. So like a warm pinky purple. So what I'm doing actually is I'm just adding a bit of orange to this. See, that's a little warmer. Just gives a nice effect. Oh, love it. So delicious. Okay. Now for the actual moon, I need pretty bright, but a little bit warm. So I'm going to mostly white with a bit of orangey yellow. Let's see. Just put that on. Now, blend this warm. Get that glow, and then we can get our scratchy brush back in here. Not totally convinced I like the scratchiness on this painting, but we'll leave it for now. Just needs to be a bit more blended. Sorry, I've got a cold, so I'm kind of breathing probably quite heavy. So I might not use this voiceover at all, but we'll just keep going. Okay, so let's move on to the sea. Now, I've sort of mapped it out. How's it looking on here? We've got a bit of a shine. Don't know how to get rid of that shine. Let me try moving this. Bit better. Let's go with that. It's actually too bright. Turn this off. Maybe that's better. Turn this down. Then I actually can't see what I'm doing, so I'm gonna turn it back there. Okay, let's go with that. So, now, I think we need is what is going on here. So that's that foamy bit. Okay, so our darkest bit. Just gonna map out our darkest bit. Goes like that, so waves kind of rising up like that, making a bit of a hump. Okay, and it's quite greenish. Like that. Okay, that's the sort of darkest bit, and then let's just fill in the bit behind it because I'm getting a bit distracted. Because sometimes I just put on all the dark bits in first, but maybe I need one full base color. So let's lay down color for our sea. So kind of a greeny dark color that we can add to. So let's get our horizon in, roughly there. I don't know if I could do this live on social media because I'm so slow. Maybe if I do this, then I can sort of reenact. Then I've got a rough idea how, because it's not going to take forever, and then I could reenact it almost. I would do it again if it worked out, but at this stage, I don't know. Okay, so nice, and then now we're gonna add this slightly lighter green. Just gonna blend this dark wave area down, and we need a bit of lighter on top also. What I'm thinking is to eventually do some, if I figure out how to, if I can do this tutorials at the same time, I like start a Patreon and do practice teaching on there, and then offer regular videos that I stuff I learn, and I can share it with you, and could be good. Right, so okay, this then comes down a little lighter again, so it's like a gradient. Starts the top of the waves are dark because it's in the shadow, about to rising up to crash over, but it's not quite made it yet, so creates that shadow. Got a bit of green. Oh, it's a bit bright when you sort of green, vivid green, but dark green. No, that's blue. Green. There we go. Okay. And I have to remind myself to speed it up. Okay, now this is going to be our crashing area, so this is just going closer. Actually, let's just, yeah, we're gonna smooth this, add in the highlights after, so we just spread out this. General night kind of colour. And get the blending brush. You can hear all the trick-or-treaters outside, quite cute. Quick. Right, now, in fact, let's even fill that in, because I've just left that blank because that was gonna be lighter. I'll leave that a little bit. So this is gonna be crashing wave, crash, and the darker colours there again. So it's kind of like a greyish, bluish, greenish thing colour. Just get that spread about here. And it's kind of warmish too, so I'm just adding in a bit of orange to warm it up. That's better. Okay, and that keeps coming to here, and there's white foam basically. So, and then it's the beach. Like that. And the beach is pretty much also this greyish, bluish, greenish. Everything's just sort of reflecting because it's dark and it's wet and it's shiny. You can't see that. I don't know if I'll get this done in 20 minutes. But let's just go like fast and see how far. Okay, so yep. This is kind of fill it in with this colour here because it's kind of like seems to be the colour underneath the sort of white foam. Maybe it's like pulling up some sand or something. And then this is also quite okay, so now we have a filled bit of paper. Start adding in the details. I'm just giving it a general blend. We've sort of mapped it out basically. So now let's show you the dark. Let's go in with our dark bits. mapping out the top of this most dark wave in the background. Like that. A bit more here. And then we want it to slowly, that dark, to blend, so it's not just like plonked out of nowhere. We want to kind of create the effect that it's lifting, so we need to kind of blend this down. As usual, we need more green. It's a shining. It's just a big shine. I'm not really sure how to video this in a better way. If I use this light, turn this one on. Ooh. And then now there's a big shine in the sky. Yeah, I don't know. But we'll go with that. Maybe if this was on an easel. And my easel is currently at Adam's house, so if I get that, maybe we could get a bit better. So I'm just adding in some shadows for in between the foamy lines. I'll get a bit of foamy over here. The waves are crashing. I find sometimes with oil paint that I don't get enough paint on the brush, and then I'm just splooching it about, and actually I maybe just needed to put more paint on in the beginning. Okay, let's get a bit more. Another trick with painting, you think you're getting somewhere and then actually sometimes you're not, but then that's all part of it. You just gotta keep going. So eventually, I promise, it starts clocking into place. Just gonna be really stubborn and stick with it until. Okay, so that's coming up, and that's rumble, and then some shadow under. So it's just wee details. We'll add in that white of the foam after. So this is starting to rush down. Yeah, it would be so cool if I could do this live and actually do it fast enough to follow along. So I think I will do that once I've figured out what I'm gonna do a tutorial of. This is basically a practice for that experiment to see. And I reckon as well, people who do this probably just blab away like I'm doing and then edit out the push. So maybe that's what I'll do. Okay, so let's just find out, do a bit of blending. Swish, swish. More dark. So this week I've been part of a music project for Laurie Watson's new traditional school of music. So we've been playing around with new traditional music, so newly composed stuff, which draws on the tradition in some form, like in its structure or how it's been composed, and then also take it to new places, so adding in some improv, and the other musicians are Adam Sutherland on the fiddle, who's written a piece for it, and Emma Tomlinson and Rufus Huggard, I think is his last Huggin. Sorry, Rufus. And Sally Simpson and Mary Campbell. And it's been, and Kirsty Law on vocals. And it's been a really interesting process and quite fun just to go quite out there with the improvs. And I've written a piece for it, and it's just for a duo. I thought I'd keep it simple. So it's for piano and fiddle. So Sally on the fiddle, and there's lots of improv in there, and Sally's done amazing. Just going for it, and it's about, funnily enough, going into the sea. So there's some jarring fiddle improv, just kind of about that first initial like freezing feeling of first getting in, and it kind of takes your breath away, and then it gets a little bit more, it eases in, and eventually the piano and the fiddle are playing tune in unison and sounding more together. And then it finishes sort of back to how it started. So as the fiddle comes out, the C as such, and just goes back to quite calm, double stopping, 2 notes at once, and it's quite peaceful, and it's really fun because Ross is Ross known as Trench One. He is doing projection, so he's projecting on the sides of the walls, and it looks very cool. So it's quite immersive and totally changes it having the visuals there as well. It's fun, I like it a lot. So the performance is tomorrow, so looking forward to that. And let me check the time. Oh god, okay. Yes, I've got 50 minutes left, so just do the highlights. So we've kind of mapped in this is a crashy wave, this is a crashy wave, this is the main crashy wave, so I'm just going to build it up a bit. So we've got the lighter crash, crash, crash. Now, I don't know if this is how you do it, but this is how I'm doing it. So I am looking at a reference for just a little, sort of half following it, just to get the shadows of how crashing wave looks. But you can use any crashing wave, or if you're lucky enough to have some amazing photographic memory or just a really good understanding of wave formation, you can just make it up. But I don't, so I quite like just referring to something. Maybe eventually I can do it from my head. Okay, so just popping in some shadows in the crashing waves, and I'm always running out of green. This green. Little details of the wave. Now I might have a slightly smaller brush for I need slightly more white. Oh yeah, have you there's something called glazing. I think this may be more, you need to wait for it to dry and then you can do glazes. So maybe actually that would be a good thing to try with this, since I'm running out of time, is to let it dry and then try that glazing thing. Because there's certain colours that are transparent and you can see through them, like see they don't cover it up completely, so that's quite cool for some of this foamy stuff. Just do what we can for now. It's not looking like it's, I think it could look like more like it's moving. Like, I don't quite know. I think maybe with the blending brush. But oops, it's meant to be dark. If I got yeah, forget the, don't want to put down our strongest white yet because you want to save it for the really last highlights. So yeah, I just can't tell what ones are going to be the quick paintings and what ones are not going to be quick. So that's what is the challenge. So just leave it blend first before I start. Quite helpful to blend, so thinking of when you're blending just what the direction the water is actually going in. So this is some filmy stuff. Just roughly pop it in and then just get a rough kind of quick idea. Maybe build it up. Oh, I should that dark colour. Oh, I am starving. Oh. Yeah, if anybody's got any tips for filming art, that would be pretty handy, because so far I just don't know. It's just kind of a bit shit, really. I mean, just like shiny and not nice to look at, but it could be. I just know it could be. that'll be easier once it's dried a bit actually now to add on the rest. So actually that's quite a good place to stop, let it dry, and come back. Zero. Just do a wee bit more here. Almost running out of green. I think because I'm a little bit impatient, I'm wanting to add in all these wee bits. But sometimes it works when you do that quickly, or when I see other people doing it quickly, it just looks really good. But it's the type of thing I feel like maybe I just go slow and do it wee teeny bit by bit. But it's all about trying. Maybe one day it'll click into place quickly. Okay, I'll just finish up there because I clean my brushes, and it's very hard to stop.